what do you make of this? Meron palang ganun secret decision or hindi natin alam at least, no? Ito si Samuel Martires reversing the initial dismissal of Joel Villanueva.
Well, nakakagulat yan, no? Kasi una, the case was much of a public interest. So, ibig sabihin yan, no? Ibig sabihin, malala tong kaso na ito eh. Imagine mo, itong kaso na ito, nung ini-enforce ito, this was an entire Senate deliberation whether to enforce it or not, no? There was a unanimous decision in the Senate. It's a clash of our constitutional institutions because the Ombudsman is a constitutional office and the Senate. Tapos, it was a decision related to what was the biggest scandal at that time, which is the Dapoles pork barrel scam, PDAF scandal, no? Tapos, walang nakaalam. Kahit media, kahit may isang reporter, walang nakaalam. Kahit na, ewan ko, kasi dapat yan, na-copy furnished ng decision, yung mga parties. Eh, hindi lang naman yung Senate, di ba? Hindi lang naman yung si Senator Villanueva ang party dyan. Dapat yan may field investigating office. Siguro ng ombudsman or sino bang mga private complainant dyan. Was it a motu proprio action of the ombudsman, no? Maraming nakakapagtaka kung bakit, no? And it
Attorney Dina, sorry, I singit ko lang, no? Medyo nagtaka rin ako, bakit si mismong Senator Joel Villanueva hindi niya inanunsyo? Diba, kung kating-kati ka na malinis yung pangalan mo, at ito yung nakikita natin sa kanya mga pagkilos then and now, no? Ito pinaka-importanting decision. Parang nagulat lang ako, bakit hindi siya mismo hinag sa publiko?
Di ba dati pagbubunyi mo yon na parang, this is the day of vindication. No one knew.
Yeah.
Not a single instance, not a single person. So, ibig sabihin, may deliberate decision on his part to keep it silent, di ba? And para siguro to prevent interested parties to appeal it and to look at it and to at least put it in the news. In other words, the public was deliberately hidden by the public, not only by the ombudsman, but by Senator Joel Villanueva himself. Gusto natin malinaw yan, ha? Kasi tama ka eh, kung kating-kati ka na dapat na ipakita sa publiko na malinis ka, the first thing that you will do is to say, vindicated, the system gave me, acquitted me, or pinawalang sala ako. Di ba, ganyan, sa kaso ni Laila de Lima, yan, unang lumabas. Di ba? Sa lahat ng kaso ng katiwalaan, kahit nga kay Jingoy Estrada, di ba? Pero we were all kept in the dark. So it was, definitely, that was not an accident. Because everything, single time na makakuha ka ng kind of acquittal, you're a public official, it's of a public interest case, deliberate and decision whether to publish or not. So I would say that deliberate and decision ni Joel Villanueva to keep the public in the dark, the deliberate and decision ng ombudsman not to inform everyone about this decision. No?
Kung sakali bang nalaman ng public and sorry, may paraan pa ba para habulin yun? Ano yung mga paraan na pwedeng gawin? Sana.
Definitely, there could have been a pressure exerted, no, to the field investigating office or to the investigating officials or to the private offended party to at least file another motion for reconsideration. So as I understand it, this is just on a mere motion for reconsideration. Diba? Yeah. So, nag-desisyon si Conchita Carpio Morales, nag-motion for reconsideration si Joel Villanueva. Tama? Diba? Yeah. Tapos 2019 lumabas yun. So, ibig sabihin ko nag-motion for reconsideration, pwede ulit mag-motion for reconsideration eh. Diba? Ito para bang tinago para hindi makapag-exercise ng remedy ang publiko at yung mga private complainant or yung field investigating office ng Office of the Ombudsman. That's first, no? Ang second lang na nagtataka lang ako dito sa timeline kasi kung nag-desisyon si Conchita Carpio Morales 2016 pa. Tama? 2016, yeah.
2017.
2016. Oo, bakit 3 years yung desisyon? Yun yung one. On a mere motion for reconsideration. Sa akin, medyo may mali na dun eh. This is a mere motion for reconsideration by the ombudsman. Ganun ba? It really exposes the fact na para bang pinatila yung issue at saka talagang may fault. Diba? Ibig sabihin, gano'ng katagal a mere motion for reconsideration, 3 taon bago na-resolve. At interesting rin to find out, which I think we need to get the view of Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, is hindi niya ba dinesisyonan? Hindi niya ba dinesisyonan nung siya pa yung ombudsman? Kasi diba, ang motion for reconsideration, kaya mo desisyonan yan kahit na 5 days, 3 days, 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, sabihin mo na, hindi niya ba dinesisyonan? Kasi baka dinesisyonan niya. Kung dinesisyonan niya, dapat hindi na nakapag-MR noong 2019. Kasi ano na yun eh, final na nag-MR ka na eh. Ang remedy dapat ni Joel Villanueva is to go up, hindi to file countless motion for reconsideration. So I'm really interested to take a look at the timeline of this case, and whether Conchita Carpio Morales, former Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, really did not decide on it. If she did not decide on it, I feel like the 3 years time frame, questionable, and the 6 years after, na tsaka pa lang nalaman na publiko, questionable. Deliberate by design ang pagtatago nitong desisyon na to. Gusto ko lang sabihin na, Christian, bakit kaya deliberate and by design yung pagtatago nito? Paano natin nasabi na deliberate and by design? Sariling ombudsman na bago, hindi alam na may desisyon eh.
Siya mismo nagulat pagbalik niya sa opisina.
Siya mismo nagulat, di ba? Pinakita raw sa kanya. At ngayon, we are in the process of retrieving a copy of that because I would like to also understand as a public interest lawyer, as a member of the public, what remedy does the public have? Especially since this was hidden from us. Ganun na lang pala yun. Ganun na lang pala kadali. A public interest case, one of the most important cases of our time when it comes to accountability, bigla na lang i-exclude yung public, i-exclude yung media, no? So, nakakatakot yan eh.
Okay, may isa pa akong tanong, procedurally, no? Kasi sa normal na pagtingin, parang ang tagal naman ng decision sa MR, no? 2016, 2019 lumabas, tapos naging public 2025. Okay. Pwede pa bang habulin yon? Pwede bang questionin yung timeline na sinunod ng ombudsman na yon? At pwede pa bang i-reverse ito ng kasalukuyang ombudsman? Kung kanwari meron kayo nakitang infirmities doon sa ginawang proseso under Martires.
I'd like to see that timeline nga. Kung sakasakali na procedurally there's a question, pwede kasing ma-question yung grave abuse of discretion ng ombudsman, di ba? The former ombudsman. And by design, yung judicial intervention kasi, yung judiciary should be able to correct grave abuses of discretion. And sa akin, kung kunyari, for example, kung ito ay pangalawang MR desisyonan, grave abuse of discretion yan. No? Para sa akin, kung yung timeline of events will show na deliberately tinago ito ganung katagal, I think there's grave abuse of discretion. Pero there is an interesting theory na nakita ko sa post ni former Solicitor General Florin Hilbay. I don't know if you saw it, no? Na pwede itong i-consider as a mere internal memo. Ano yung sabihin nun, no? Internal memo lang siya. The current ombudsman could reverse it. Bakit siya internal memo? Kasi parang hindi siya pinublish eh. Hindi siya. So usually dapat yan, ito rin gusto ko makita ha, pagka nagdesisyon ng ombudsman, dapat dinadakit yan dun sa babae para makita natin kung kasi may mga suspicion na inantidate siya, may mga suspicion na nilabas lang yan recently, tapos delete na 19, di ba? Dapat nadadakit yan dun sa baba. So gusto ko rin makita, kahilan yan dinakit at kahilan yan in-out supposedly for the public consumption. I think it also exposes the fact na ang hina pala ng sistema natin ng transparency in the Office of the Ombudsman, in that most of these are public interest cases. The public is involved. We're talking about public funding, public money na in-squander. Tapos, wala naman palang repository ng mga decisions ng ombudsman na accessible to the public. Unlike in the Court of Appeals, makikita mo lahat doon ng desisyon eh. Kaya papasok mo na yung GR number, makikita mo lahat ng desisyon nila doon. Sa Supreme Court, di ba? Makikita mo lahat ng desisyon ng Supreme Court every day. Napapublish yan. Pero sa ombudsman, walang ganon. Despite the fact that it can attain finality and all we're talking here are public funds and public involved ang public kasi laging abuses in office and violation of ethical standards of public officers.
Ika, tsaka napaka-basic, no? Bakit mo itatago yun? Kung ikaw mismo yung beneficiary ng ganung desisyon, ba't mo itatago yun, di ba?
Deliberate talaga. Deliberate.
Ikakatakot mo ba yun? Ikakahiya mo ba yung desisyon na kiniklear ka?
Dapat happy ka, di ba? Dapat happy ka. Dapat ito i-publish mo. So, deliberate and by design, yung pagtatago at pagde-deprive sa publiko na makialam dito sa kasong ito. I think that was, and I think that is a grave abuse of discretion on the part of Martires. And even, di ba? Even, ang gusto ko lang i-question yung...
Teka, sorry. Kung merong grave abuse of discretion kay Martires, pwede pa ba siyang habulin ngayon? And number 2, ano yung remedy ng kasalukuyang ombudsman? Pwede niyang i-reverse na lang yan?
Ang intention, ang nakita kong interesting theory na I think meron din namang mga moral hazards, no? To be fair. Kaya medyo natatakot akong gawin yun kung ako magdedesisyon is to treat this as an internal memo. Yun ang nakita ko doon sa post, sa perspective na in-offer ni former Solicitor General Florin Hilbay sa bar top notcher, no? Ang sabi niya, kung hindi ito pinablish ng maayos at hindi alam ng publiko at tinago yan within the ombudsman lang, internal memo lang yan. At lahat ng internal memo, kayang i-reverse ng current ombudsman. Yun yung one, no? Interesting, ang nakakatakot lang sa akin doon as a practicing lawyer is wala na palang finality lahat ng decision ng ombudsman. Ibig sabihin, we will be stuck with litigations na pwedeng i-reverse lang basta-basta. Kasi this decision, if really released last 2019, should have attained finality. Pero, kaya feeling ko, yung route na yon nakakatakot na yung ombudsman mismo ang re-reverse. Pero feeling ko kung korte ang magre-reverse in that grave abuse of discretion. Kasi pag sabi mong grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction, ibig sabihin, walang jurisdiction si Martires dahil sa grave of abuse discretion niya, void ab initio yung order. It's as if there's no judgment to speak of. So, ibig sabihin, hindi yung ni-reverse na naman ni ombudsman yung sarili niya, bagkus, wala talagang order to speak of. So, I think mas appropriate sa akin na remedy yung grave abuse of discretion. Pero kasi sa grave abuse of discretion, as a litigator, pag isasangguni ko yan sa korte, which I think present naman itong grave abuse of discretion dito, kailangan natin ng magandang paper trail. Kailangan natin makapakita kasi mas mataas yung quantum of proof required. Grave abuse of discretion eh. Hindi, sa abuse of discretion, ang hinihingi dyan, hindi lang simple mistake ha, hindi lang they committed a mistake. Kasi mistakes can be binding to everyone. Kasi kailangan nga natin ng stability in our justice system. What you ought to show is grave abuse of discretion, not just simple abuse of discretion. So, mas mataas kasi yung quantum of proof eh. Kaya kailangan makita talaga yung timeline of events na to. And I would say, na baka mas maganda na yung current ombudsman mismo mag-file sa korte na may grave abuse of discretion to correct the previous actions of the ombudsman because this current ombudsman is tied with that decision in that hindi niya na pwede reverse yun and kasi may endanger naman yung buong sistema na judgments.
Pero nga, kung susundan yung theory ni Florin Hilbay, bakit nyo kasi hindi pinublish? Bakit nyo isinekreto? So pwedeng mag-apply yun dito sa specific case na ito.
Pwedeng dito sa specific case na to. So, ibig sabihin, matatakot ka rin, maganda rin masaset na precedent noon, yung example na yon para lahat
hindi
ng
mga sikreto.
Hindi mo isisikreto. Kailangan nyo ipakita sa publiko para kung hindi, kayo matatabaan yan, sasabihin, pwede lang i-void yan. So, wala rin yung protection mo. Wala rin yung incentive na isikreto ninyo, maggawa kayo ng transaction doon na outside sa public, tapos kayo lang dalawa nakakaalam na protektado na pala ako. Di ba? Kasi kung ginawa ko yon, wala rin kwenta yung protection na makukuha nung ganyang klaseng arrangement.